Hey, this is Glendon, founder of Hustlers Kung Fu, all about making that money without a job. Today, we're going to talk about the math on making $1 million a year in e-commerce or any other business. Now, I was going to have this fancy, snazzy. Today, we're going to talk about the math. I hit the wrong button. I was going to have this fancy, snazzy chalkboard, but I have no chalk. So we're going to do, let's see, make sure we get all that the way that I want it. We're going to do maybe paper, but I'm going to give you the concepts based upon one physical business, and I'm going to give you some numbers on a e-commerce business, and I'm going to give you the numbers on what I do, selling digital products. And I got my ho-ho hat on. Let's see. There it is. I wonder, should I? Let's see. Let's go up a little bit. Boom. We got it in the shot. Let's do it. That looks good. There we go. All right. Part of this thing. Hold on a second. I'm going to give me a second. I need to set some stuff up. While I'm doing that, I want you to check out the 50% off sale. I knew that was going to happen. I just knew that. Hold on a second. I will be back. And bam, I'm back. All right, cool. We've got a better little situation here. Actually, I think that's going to be the best. Yes. All right. Check it out. This is the end of the year sale. Merry Christmas, 50% off. This is how it works. Go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com, pick a course. The second step, go below the video, pay what the 50% off is, and then email us at hustlerskungfu@gmail.com what you bought. Because once you make payment, we'll know. We just don't know what course or courses you want. Just send that to us. And what we will do is hook you up with the login credentials and set it all up for you. So that's going on, and it will end Christmas Eve. Let's roll. All right. I was going to try this online whiteboard thing, but it just looks really, really crazy. So what I'm going to do, and that's not going to work. Let's see. I'm going to see if you can kind of. No, that's not going to work either. So I'm just have to tell it to you. So the first thing we're going to start off is the math. $1 million a year in revenue. We're going to say revenue. We're going to say profit. We're going to say not net. We're going to talk about revenue. Now, that's $83,000 per month over the course of a 12-month year. Now, this is an average because there will be months you'll make less. There'll be months that you'll make more. Now, what you want to do is break it down to a weekly number, which is $21,000. Then after that, you want to break it down to a daily number, which is 2,900, almost 3 G's per day. Then you want to break it down to $124 per hour. So if you want to make $1 million a year, your aim should be able to create $124 per hour in a 24-hour time period, or shoot for 3 G's per day. If you consistently make $124 per hour or 3 G's per day, you will have gross revenues of $1 million. Now, this is what many people fail to do. Here are the numbers of the upscale garage sale. That was pretty much what we were doing because, quote, $1 million was the holy grail. Little did I know that really we undershot because we had really, really good profit margins. So for us, if we did 83 grand or 100 grand a month, our profits were like 70 because it was resale and we were getting our inventory for pennies on the dollar. Now, with that business model, you've got a warehouse, you have a storefront, you have employees. Your margins are probably going to be more like this. You do 100 grand, your profit is going to be between 20 and 50. And there's a wide variance because There are some states that have no state income tax. All business people are not created equal. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. But typically in the upscale garage sale, we made between 70 to 130,000 per month with a 75 to 82% profit margin. Now, part of the reason that the resale business is so different than any other business is I go out and make a buy and I sell that stuff throughout the year. And let's just say there's some jackpot items within that buy that completely changes the complexion of the financial numbers. Very few things do that. Typically, when you buy new goods, the price that you pay is the price that you pay. And if you're buying brand new products and you get into the marketplace and then someone else comes to the marketplace and then they bring the price down, that price that you pay for that stuff, it doesn't change. So you could have bought something that you expected to do a 20 to 30% profit margin. New players came into the market, something changed, and all of a sudden you'll be happy with 5% because you're going to have to blow it out just to get your money out of it, and you're probably going to lose a little bit. And that frequently happens when you don't understand your marketplace, or you're playing by some other people's rules. So that was just some of the things. Now, let's see. What's going on in the chat room? What's up, SF Basketball Living? Owning it. What's up? Thank you. Johnny Storage is back. What's up, Diana? What's up, Nigel? What's up, Canna? Santa G. I'm bringing in cheer and happiness in the new year. What's up, Josh? Everyone loves the hat. What's up, Chris Monroe? Thanks. What's up, Coley? And Otto Orami? What's up? All right, but seriously, if you, and the reason for the math is every day you sit down, you don't think, how do I make $1 million today? That's too much. It's just way, way too much. But how do I make $124 an hour? Which is a lot of money, but it becomes more digestible. And depending upon what you sell, and I'm gonna give you some more math. Let's say you were selling, and I'm gonna use my calculator so I give you good numbers. I'm not showing you anything on the screen, but you're not gonna be able to see that stuff. Let's see. Let's say you have one product for your e-commerce store, okay? So we're gonna say you're selling a platform bed or platform beds, and your product costs are pretty much the same regardless of model. Your shipping costs pretty much the same regardless of model. So let's say your bed is $350. That's your wholesale cost times, and let's see, $350. Let's see. Wholesale cost is $350, but you're trying to hit it at a G. So you're going to sell your beds for $99.99. So $1,000 free ship. So you're going to minus, we'll do first math. $999. So make $1 million a year. Your goal is to sell 3 beds, which brings you up to almost 3 Gs. That's, if you consistently sell 3 beds 7 days a week, 12 months, you will make $1 million gross income. Well, let's back down the math. $999 minus $350. Since you have a volume deal, you're getting a break on the shipping, minus $150 for shipping. So your profit is $500. So your profit on this, if everything goes well, there's going to be more stuff, but just to say top line profit. So you do your profit times 3, it's 1,500 times 7, it's 10,000 times 4, 2,600. That's wrong. 3,000. Let's just go straight 1,500 times 31. $46,000 profit, gross sales of $100,000 a month. So there are more costs because, how do you, let's even break that down. Let's go to the 999. Bear with me. That's where I got the hat because, my head's going to be down on this. We're using calculators. I know, crazy, right? So minus $350 for the bed, minus $150 for shipping, minus cost of acquiring a customer, $200. And if you get into real e-commerce and making money online, that's a real number. This acquiring customers for 200. No. So to acquire each one of those 3 customers for the day is $200. So that leaves you a profit of $300 or, 30%, which is a good margin. So this is our profit if you hit your numbers, and let's just make it simple. Times 365 gives you a profit of $109,000 for the year. So, once you take out all the cost, and that's $1 million business. Make sure I did that correctly. 300 times 31. Yep, 100 G's on $1 million business. And this is one of the reasons that I've talked about this, and I've talked about this, and I've talked about this since my first day on YouTube. There are many people running around talking about, I'm a 7-figure earner. I'm an 8-figure earner. No, you've generated revenue of 7 figures. And if you're a true 7-figure earner or a true 8-figure earner, let me give you the numbers on a true 8-figure earner. Let's say you bring home 10 million. Okay. And let's add a 0. And then you go plus 80%. Oh, it's 18 million. No, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. You bring home 10 million times that times 3 to 5. So if you're bringing home 10 million, your business has done 30 million to 50 million. If you're bringing home 10 million as a true 8-figure earner. So you've got a $50 million to $100 million company. So when I hear all this stuff now, this is if you're selling physical products. You're selling physical products, you're going to have a lot of costs. It's just, if you have a large service business, you're going to have a lot of costs. You're going to have all of your licenses. You're going to have a building. You're going to have staff. You're going to have vehicles. That costs money. So whenever you hear this stuff, I'm a 7-figure earner, I'm an 8-figure earner. No. In your mind, hear my voice, and I'm whispering, that's revenue if it's true. That's revenue if it's true. Revenue is not earnings, because if revenue was earnings, you would get taxed on everything that you made, and that would be ugly. There's a reason that it's called gross revenue, net profit, net losses. From a taxing situation, you make 50 million and all that is considered earnings. Whoo, you could be paying half that in taxes. That's not good. All right, and that's just on a physical business. Typically, that's what's going to happen. We got more people in here. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, Cheatable? Devon, Never Broke Action Pack. What's going on, Lamode? What's up, Carlton? Now, for those of you who just came in, the days before Christmas holiday sale is in effect. 50% off any course at Hustlers HustlersKungFuLifeSkills.com. Go to HustlersKungFuLifeSkills.com, find what you want, go to the link below the video, make your payment, and then email us what you bought, and we'll hook you up with the logins. Just letting y'all know. All right, so typically, that's one of the reasons that it takes so much money to start a vigorous physical products business. And this is why, you have many people here who are kind of looking at, like, I keep hearing about this, and you have people kind of feeling some kind of crazy way about themselves because they're not hitting those numbers, when there are some people who are true 10-figure earners. Not 10-figure revenue earners, but 10-figure after taxes, after expenses, 10 mil in the pocket to use to accumulate wealth, to set up family legacies. There are people like that. Most of these folks online, it's bullshit. It's totally bullshit, because the language that they use to talk is to sell you on programs. It's not to actually teach you how to run a business, because that's not what they're doing. Now, with that, I will lead into the second thing, because I told you I was going to give you the upscale garage sale business, and I'm going to give you like my business, selling information products. And I'm going to tell you the whole truth on this thing. Last 8 weeks, I've been not using paid traffic for a reason. Paid traffic, once you have it dialed in, it can be a wonderful thing. You spend $1, you make 10. You spend $10, you make 100. So long as those maths are in your favor, it's a good thing. But since YouTube here, because I have a lot of people who are real curious to what I do, and it's like, okay, well, how do you make money? Somebody said, like, how do you make money if everything's on sale? I'm like, I sell something every day. There's 5 revenue streams, but people are kind of looking at the surface or the shiny paint coat, and they're not looking under the hood to see that all of these things are going on. Like there's like 6 twin turbos and stuff up in here. But typically, your cost for an information business is marketing. That's pretty much your big cost. Marketing and joint ventures. And joint venture partners are, you hear these people, they'll have a podcast, they'll have a YouTube channel, and they'll say, hey, my boy Johnny G just came out with this wonderful product. And yes, I'm an affiliate, but let me tell you, I've known Johnny G for 7 years and his stuff is the best. And it's awesome, right? But yes, I'm an affiliate, and the product's $3,000, so I get 50%. So every one of you buy this, I get $1,500. Okay, so Johnny G sells $1 million, but half his sales are affiliates, right? So that's $500,000 he's paying out. And then Johnny G has spent $200,000 on Facebook ads, so he just paid $700,000 out. Then there's some other stuff. There's his people. There's his staff. So Johnny G did $1 million, but because he had to pay for marketing in terms of joint venture partners, he had to pay for Facebook ads. What he took home is still nice because Johnny G does this 3 times a year. He nets out at $150,000 to $200,000. So that's $500,000 to $600-some thousand a year for him. So it's good money. But here's what I'm doing. And this is why it takes so long. Mention, I did not use paid traffic. So I've been making 5 figures per month doing this the last 2 months with no ad spend. And it takes me approximately 2 to 3 hours a day to do this, 5 days a week. Do the math. So my next step is to scale this. And part of the reason I can do this is because this channel is 8 years old. If you're just brand new and you come out and you pitching people every day, they're just going to tune you out because there's not enough additional content to keep things rolling, right? So I sell $100,000 a month, right? And typically, since I was using paid traffic would be 10, 12 grand of that, which would leave me, 90 to 88,000. But since everybody's changed the rules, and this was 2010-ish, 11, 12, 13-ish. 2014, new animals came, all kinds of stuff happened, and I had to really start to work for my money because I'll tell you, I have no problem with this. I make less money than I did during the glory days, but I still make more money than the average person. So if I make 10 G's, or I make 15 G's, or I make 20 G's, since I am not using paid traffic, that is, other than payment processing fees, profit, which is, I do 25,000 in a month. That's the same as someone who's selling physical products doing 100 G's in a month. Same profit margin. So this is why everybody wants to do intellectual property, teaching, training, developing courses, because the profits are like all out the ass. The profits ain't nothing but all kinds of gains, right? But here's the trick. If no one knows who you are, you have no track record, you will either have to affiliate with people who have a track record, or you'll have to use paid traffic, which is going to invert your revenue and profits significantly to the point, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose your ass. And with me, and once again, many of those of you who've been around for a while, my story. I've almost died twice. And for me, money's important. Let's be real about that. I'm not going to say, oh, money's not everything. Oh, bullshit. Money's important. But it is not the driving force. I do what I do to keep me free. So as long as I make high 4 figures or 5 figures, I'm good. But I'm not trying to build a $100 million company. I'm not trying to do a lot of this other stuff that many people are feeding and creating this hustler porn. So if someone has a information business and they are devoted to paid traffic, their profit margins are going to look very much like a physical business model because there's so many expenses in there. And this is, people don't talk about that stuff. They don't tell you that stuff because you'd be turned off. Let's see what's up. Let's see. Cody, one of the eye-opening stats, mind blown. Be more specific, Cody. Even the dog wants in on this convo. That is hilarious. Is the physical product math the reason why some want to be digital product creators? Yes, because, okay, one of the things that is beautiful about the internet is I can go online, buy some tools, talk to a few people, and get a very good bead on how much money someone's earning. There are tools to let you know how fast products are, this is the beauty of having your own website. If someone's willing to pay enough money, they can find out how much stuff has sold on eBay, what it is sold for, how much stuff is sold on Amazon. This is great if you're trying to get into the business. This is horrible if you're in the business and you got to compete against these people, because 70–80% of the people who roll into the space are unseasoned business people, and they're going to sell on price. And that's why one of the big components with FBA is adjusting your price fucking every day, to the point that someone developed automated systems to do it because you're selling on price. Whereas if you have your own website, nobody knows what you're selling. They can guess, they can be 100% wrong. Like, people look at my business model and I've heard all kinds of stuff and I'm like, that ain't even close. Like, if you were to go to Video IQ and look at my YouTube earnings, I'll actually show you. I'll show you what they are. It will say 180 bucks. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me let's see. Let me get into this ads. All right, that's just horrible. I'll go in here and let's see. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it from here. I'm sitting there with my mouth open. That looks like real crazy. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Make me sign in? I'm already signed in. What? It's not good kung fu. That's kind of crazy. All right, so we're gonna we're gonna go in another way. No, I'm like, seriously, I'm gonna show you this stuff. Let's do this. Matter of fact, let's I'm in, you won't see it. I'll have to give me a second. I'm going to lose some of y'all in a minute. All right, here we go. All right, you go to the cover of vidIQ and you'll see that I make, it'll say I do 180 bucks a month, right? So we'll do last month and we'll do this month. Not even close. And they're plugged into the YouTube API, but there's so much stuff you can't get. And that's kind of what happens to people on Amazon. You just can't get a lot of that juicy information that you need to make better decisions. You just can't get it. All right, so let's go back to the stream. One more click. So that's one of the things about a lot of these online tools, that the online applications and tools is they're not 100%. Let's see. I'm not doing Periscope. What do you mean it's hard to hear with the dog? That's funny. I'm not doing Periscope. Doesn't that mean you're also the biggest bottleneck? I don't know what you mean by that question. Do a Shark Tank on your channel? That's funny. Keeping it real, numbers don't lie. Thanks, Dark Knight. Fight Gain. I love digital products because when people want a refund, it's a piece of cake. But physical products, it can be Part of the things you do with your pricing is you build that stuff in. I will give you another set of numbers in a minute after I go through these comments. Yep, I started my transcription website because of eBay and Amazon price shifting. While it seems like YouTube is the best platform, it's almost if you can get paid when you create content. Depending on your topic, I can tell you there are some YouTubers who are making 250, 300,000 a month with no physical products. There are some doing $1 million a month. Some of them have physical products. Some folks have some crazy sponsorship deals that will like blow your damn mind. I mean, you know, PewDiePie, whatever his name is, he did this whole thing about he's going to delete this channel. I would not be surprised at this juncture he's earned 50 million straight cash. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So there's a lot of people and making a lot more. Let's see, I still sell on sheet music plus also the mess with the prices too, but I'm on the intro ground level in my business, and any money is good business. Johnny Storage, hey Glennon. I've done a service-based computer repair business and resale business, but that's kind of a digital product. Could you sell it? And it just depends. Nick, do you think oversaturation of the online market and laziness in our current culture create better opportunity in starting a physical service business? I have a video called How to Make $1,500 to $2,000 a month starting a service business. Service businesses, physical businesses are not going to disappear in a lifetime. They're not even going to, they're going to have a dent. You will notice it, but they're not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, so I'm going to give you numbers on another business. It's a physical product business. This was when I worked for Horizon Pacific. I worked in the warehouse and I got a chance to look at the manifest. So we would get, let's bring out the calculator. I'm looking all crazy with this hat on. All right, we would get a container, and on the manifest, the container would be like 24,000, and the container would contain divided by 180 pieces, so that's $133 per piece. So times about, let's say 12%. So let's see. Hold on, let's get my math times 180. Hold on, let's do it again, because I done completely screwed up. That's why you have the hat to keep you entertained. Divided by 180, 130. All right. So get with that 24,000 minus 12% for damaged stuff. So that was a lot of stuff. But we would sell, let me tell you what we would sell. We would have those, back in the day when they had those television armoires, they were made of teak, and this one container, it was 24 grand for the whole container, 180 pieces, 12% were damaged, crushed, but they still sold them because we had the guy that would repair them. They just sell them in the warehouse in the liquidation sale. So let's see, 180 minus 12% leaves 160. Now, this is where I learned about markup in furniture. Take a wild guess and put it in the comments how much you think we sold that furniture for, which each piece costing $133. And that was including cost of freight and all that, because that's what's on the manifest. By bottleneck, I mean that the number of new products created are limited by the fact that you're the only one making new stuff. You can't outsource that process. That is not a bottleneck. Okay, let me tell you why it's not a bottleneck. You must have just showed up. I have not really been selling a lot of my new courses these last 2 months. I've been doing better packages and selling courses that are done. I'm not creating any courses. 90% of my income in the last 2 months have been by courses that are older, that I haven't created any new courses. You don't make your money through course creation is a driver of sales, but if you have a good marketing plan, hence daily streams, pitching every day, you make sales regardless. So in terms of bottlenecks, and this is a good question, because I was just pointing out that you ask a lot of advanced questions before you've done the groundwork. You're looking at bottlenecks and all this other stuff when, and I should be, clear, have you made your first $100,000 online? I mean, seriously, put that in the comments. If you made your first 100, I'm going to challenge you on it. Yes or no. If you made your first 100,000, then I will give you some advice. But if you have not, you need to kind of quit trying to do all of this advanced shit and get the basics down. I mean, seriously, that's the reason the University of Alabama keeps winning, because they got the basics down. I mean, if you don't play, and this is, Nick Saban, you go to a practice, if you don't play your position as best you can, following all the rules of that position, your ass is on the bench. They don't let people come on the field who don't have the basics down. It's a reason. What's up, Marie? All right, fight game, 100, 500, 600. Let's see, 750. Nigel, 350. Let's see if there's any more. Have a nice red shirt. I'm going to put this price down on the calculator because you can see it. That's what we sold them for. That's right. Damn, they're $1,300. Mine is $133. $1,000 profit. And the ones that were messed up, we sold for $650 to $800. This is what I'm talking about. Like, being in, let's see, let me turn that down a little bit. That should be better. Being in the business and looking at the real numbers. Typically, if you are a big retail establishment, you have all your prices built in on the first price. And what I mean is, let's say you have a television and the television is $1,500, but then you want to have a sale and you want to sell the television for $1,100, $400 savings, right? Well, your original price that you bought that television had that sale price built in. So even on sale, you still make profit. That's how the big boys do it. They are not. Let's see. I've been killing it on Periscope. I actually stream on FB Live, Periscope, and YouTube Live all in one stream. Chris Monroe, that's actually against Facebook's terms of service, and they catch you, they're going to shut your shit down. A lot of people do it, and a lot of people don't get caught, but you're not supposed to do that. This is what I'm talking about. CJ, he retracted his. Nigel, yes. So that television, and this is something else you can do. When you'll see a Samsung television, look at the model number online, then go to Best Buy and look at that model number. Often they're different. They create special products for sales that have maybe it's just cheaper to manufacture. Maybe the factory's closer, so shipping costs are less, because for these big companies, all numbers matter. So if they can save 5% on shipping, that's a huge win spread over thousands and thousands of units. So they're playing a whole different game. Nigel, let's see, what is hard to sell? Digital products or physical products? Digital products, hands down. Physical products are much harder to sell. The app load, people worry about getting hurt before they're even getting on the field, while other people are having the time of their life there. Pretty much. Because I get a lot of people who ask me advanced, like, I'll just tell you, and I'll have people who do websites, and I'll have people who do Facebook, and they'll say, oh, you're wrong. But if you don't hammer down those fundamental things of, you need to have something to sell, you need to have some people to sell it to, you need to have a way to let them know that you're selling it. I don't care what you use, Smart Card, Sam's Card, ClickFunnels. I know people who are using all of that shit and they're not making any damn money because they don't have the basics down. Hey, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Rideshare Live, where are you, man? He ain't answering that question. See, I'm not afraid to be wrong. And if someone can, prove me wrong, I'm going to ask you some real questions. I'm going to ask you some real questions, some difficult questions, because you can't make your first $100,000 online until you make your first dollar. And you have people who are looking at high-level joint venture partnerships, certain things that just are not going to work for their business because they don't have enough stuff. All right. None in there. Okay. So yeah, that was stuff that I saw in the warehouse all the time. We had Let's see. I remember this because a fool Stan, he gave this chick one of these pieces of pottery just because she was pretty, dumbass. Um, this unit cost us 9,500 divided by, it was, I remember this, it was 850 pieces in that container. It was pottery, very nice pottery. So it was like $11. Yeah, $11 per piece of pottery. Okay, let's see. So guess how much we were selling that pottery that had a cost. And the cost was the cost of pottery. The cost of shipping was $11.30 per piece. And it was 850 pieces of that pottery in that container. All right, let's see what we got here. No, I haven't made 100K, but I made money online. Okay, here's my advice to you. If I take this pen and put it on eBay and make 50 cents, I made fucking money on mine. I made money on mine. I don't mean shit. Your first 100K, and why that is important is that's the hardest. That is the hardest money to make. Your first $100,000. Once you cross that, then you can kind of breathe because, are you getting rich? No, but you have enough money to live on and also run your business, and you're in a different headspace on increasing it. But until you get to that point, you're just kind of playing around. And first of all, pick one thing. My advice to you, pick one thing, whether you want to do eBay, Amazon, whatever you want to do, and hammer that shit until you get to 100 G's. Then start getting into advanced tactics. Because, all right, I got to sand the handle on people looking at me like, oh, I can be like Lyndon. He looks like me. We can do the same thing. I have been doing this shit for 9 years purely as a digital citizen. 9 years. And before that, I had over a decade of sales experience. So looking at what I do and like, you know, because this is one of the things you hear. I can look at someone's website and I can model what they do. If someone has a private website, you are never are going to know exactly what they're doing unless you have someone on the inside to tell you. It's just so many things that go into this on the real thing. CJ, I'm leaning toward a membership product, but I know that isn't your approach. What are your thoughts on reoccurring revenue digital products? Actually, I have done several reoccurring revenue products. And here's the thing. Typically, you do a revenue product. After 3 months, 60 to 70% are going to not be there. Retention is the hardest part. One of the reasons, and also having a reoccurring revenue model, you need to have a team. You need to have people to answer questions. Somebody's paying you $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 a month. They're not trying to wait 24 hours for a question to be answered, even on the weekends. So there's all these support issues. And, you know, I hear people, I have done reoccurring revenue models several times. I've had some that worked really well, but typically 30 days, a bunch of people are gone. 60 days, another group are gone. And then you might be able to keep 20% for a year or two. Now, if you're adding new people faster than you're losing them, it's a win, but that takes marketing. Let's see. Cody, yeah, I say 100K is hard. You're right, Glenda. And I love the tactic about picking one thing and nailing it. I love that. I've done books on Kindle, but so much. Yeah, one of the things that kills people, Cody, and everyone else that's listening, is they're trying to do stuff that is taught to them by people who aren't doing that thing to make their main money. I'm going to mention a name here. Someone I have respect for. Someone I don't think is fake. Her name is Amy Porterfield. I've watched her from afar. She doesn't, she doesn't like to do joint ventures. She has some credibility because she was a marketing person for Tony Robbins. And that fact alone is she could just reach out with people that she knows and go ahead and make money. And then she started scaling and building her business. And, she was on a podcast with Rick Molinari, and they were talking about how much money they spent on these ads. And it wasn't like, you can start with $5 or $10 a day. But here's the thing. If someone else starts bidding on the keywords that you want, you're not going to win at $5 or $10 a day. It's just not going to happen. FB's not the best, so I may remove the FB string. Okay, here's the thing. Because I thought about doing that. Because, if you notice, I got one phone here. I got another phone here. And I have an iPad. So, and I've got, let's see, is it here? No, it's not there. I've got all these tripods. I could be streaming on Twitter. I could be streaming on Facebook right now. But see, here's the thing. Like, let's just kind of go down here. Let's go down the list. Cody's been here a lot. CJ's been here a lot. Fight Game is the first time in a while. Rideshare comes a lot. Nigel's here. Owning It here is a lot. Alice is here a lot. Pauline's here is a lot. Never Broke Action Packs here a lot. Lamote's here's a lot. Cheatable's here a lot. Canna Startups here a lot. Diana Thompson's here damn near every day, even if I do two. See, what I'm doing here is building relationships, which is hard fucking work. And if I'm doing this, like I'm streaming here and then I'm over here, because I've done it before. And what happens is you start to get confused and you're doing too many things. This is just my opinion. There's some people who are probably doing it brilliantly. They have staff, they got someone working the cameras. But me as one person, I felt myself not being as effective by being, talking to the Facebook people, talking to the YouTube people. Also, some people are just like, damn, you ain't paying attention to me. I'm out. And they won't even say that. It's just this subliminal thing that they don't feel that they're important. Also, following my own advice, what I told Raj here, pick one thing. So I'm not doing Periscope. I don't care about Periscope. I may do, if I do Facebook, I'm going to set up a special Facebook stream that's going to be for Facebook only. I am not going to take this stream and put it on Facebook because I've done that stuff before and it doesn't work as well. So I would have to create content for Facebook. I would have to create special content for Twitter. I'll have to create special content for Instagram. Now I could take a strip of this stuff and I could put it on Instagram and direct traffic here. But I haven't built up Instagram. So, all right, now, did anyone guess what that pottery that cost $11.33? Just put it in the comments. What do you think that we sold? And matter of fact, I'm gonna, you know what? I think I can find a picture. I think I can. I know I can. Just give me a second. Now it is $11. $11.30. Put in there what you think that pottery, and I'm going to give you some, let me find a picture. Pot. All right, okay. I found some pictures. I'm all excited and everything. I'm hyped. All right, let's see. Can we, nope, not that one. Okay. Yeah, you can, let me see, make sure you can see it. Somewhat like perfect. Okay, there it is. Those are the pots. Imagine them big enough for a small child to hide out in. Say a toddler, someone that's maybe under 2 years old, big enough for them to get in and literally hide. That kind of pot. Okay. So what we got? Fight Game 50, Mike Page 30, Cody 60, Chris W 135. Is it handmade pottery? Yes, it is. Wayne 1150, Rideshare 250, Charlatan, I made it. Fight Game 259. Once again, y'all are all off. Nope. Fight Game Mike 75, Carlton Barrett 360. Nope. This gonna blow y'all's minds because it blew mine. $455. Now let me tell you, Alice just went. Alice is like, this is the Price is Right. I'm gonna go way high that way. $450. Now this is how it was explained to me. The store made a lot of money on that stuff because it was unique and it was rare. So they would price it whatever because no one else had it. They just pull the price out their ass. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, this is why when I would watch these people talking about Amazon FBA and importing and shit, and I'd be losing my mind, and I'd be the cranky dude, and they'd be like wanting to put me in timeout and stuff. I worked for a company years ago in the 90s that did. We had 2 to 3 containers coming in per week. And my job with this asshole who gave this chick the pot was to bring stuff in, do inventory count, let them know how much shit was broke, and then we had a guy in the back, and this is somewhat how I modeled my business. He drove a Hertz, right? This dude, he was one of those goth dudes. He drove a Hertz, but he was very artistic. He had the rings and the tattoos with the skull things, but he could take this pottery, this wood pottery, fill up stuff, put the right, because he wouldn't make up the varnish, because all of this stuff was coming from Indonesia, and all the wood was different. So he would literally custom make stain to match the wood, fill the holes up, fix the broken stuff, and then we would sell it out the warehouse. 2 to 3 containers a week, and I'm talking about full 50, small container was maybe 25, one of the shorter ones. But a lot of these containers, because the parking lot was jacked up. Matter of fact, if you were in Atlanta and you want to get in your car and go over there, you go to Ellsworth Industrial and you go to Chattahoochee, and you'll go right after the men's clothing store. That first building on the left, you'll see it. And if the semi driver wasn't really good, he had problems getting in there. And the experts, they knew what to do. They would go all the way down and they would back in. They would not pull in and try to back in. They would just back in and line up with the warehouse. I worked there for about 9 months, and I saw this 5 days a week, sometimes 7 if I can get overtime. So I saw a real, I shouldn't say real, I saw a larger import business, and I saw the numbers. And I knew the math. Consistently, they had $1 million of inventory on the water at any point. It was coming in, it was being sold. It was coming in and being sold. Y'all are losing it. This is what I'm talking about. The pottery was sold in a store. No online sales whatsoever. The cost per piece, and here's another reason. Some of the stuff was broken. It all didn't sell. And what they would do, they had interior designers as part of the business, and they would do a planogram of the store, and it would last for so many weeks, and then they would redo the store at night with the new stuff. So they would go ahead and put it out there and sell for 2 or 3 months. And then they would start blowing shit out, running sales and all this other stuff. I learned a lot working there. Is there a higher profit margins for unique? Yes. See, one of the reasons that I have my issues with a lot of people online is I saw big stuff being imported and sold. And I know what it takes. And typically, for a long time before, because eventually they sold the store, but for a long time, they own that market of unique home furnishings. And I would just go in the store and just be blown away at how much that stuff was costing. And they couldn't keep it on the floor. So in terms of pricing, and this kind of goes back to some of the stuff that I've taught you about, is you make your money when you buy. So those big tiki wardrobes, $133 per piece, sell them for like $1,200, $1,400. Hold on, we're selling half off, $750. You're still making $600 profit. See, this is what I talk about with structure and building your business. Once you get this stuff down and you learn how the game works, you can't lose even if you have a sale. So that was just something I saw over and over and over. Rugs. Matter of fact, let's do this again. Hand woven rug. They were runners. Let's do the big ones, the really big ones. These were handmade from India. Handmade rugs with all kind of patterns. What do you think the product cost? Well, yeah. What do you think the product cost was on these handmade rugs? And what do you think the sales price was? Just put that in the comments. So while y'all do that, for those of you who just showed up, it's Christmas, right? You see the hat? You see the hat? And for those of you who come later, this deal is gone because it's only for Christmas. 50% off of all courses at hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. What you do is you go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com, pick out whatever course you want, then you come back to this video, make payment at right there, step number 2. And then step number 3, after you picked your courses and you pay, we'll know when you pay, we'll be waiting on you. Then sell us what you bought, and then we will hook you up and set you up. It's that simple. Merry Christmas. Brotherhood Williams, we're all trying to get rich. Charlatan, 20 to 395. He's doing that. Bought 110. Keep going, keep going. Handmade rug, $50. Sale price $250. I have a neighbor who owns rugs that can easily cost $800. No one knows this because he's low-key rich. Wayne Frazier, $200 to $250. Sold $750. From India, got to be 1,500% markup. The price is right. Cost $110, price $900. Diana, $400 bought, $4,000 sold. Product cost $100, retail $1,000. They have a wonderful audience. Y'all are going in this deep. This is fun. Keep going, keep going. Put some more stuff in there. Now, while you're guessing, the buyer would go to India, and what they would do is find a bunch of buys. Buys were not consistent. These were different because they would have people who literally travel over there. And I remember one of the buyers telling me about this, and he's like, yeah, we went over there and they wanted like ridiculous prices, but we said we would buy every rug they had. And that's when we got the prices we wanted. All right. Cost of the rugs, $85, sold anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000. Yep. I was like, and this is the thing. They didn't get rugs all the time. So when they got it, the designers would do stuff because the rugs were literally hanging on these hooks and stuff in the store, and people would walk and there's this thing like you would grab it and you would turn it. They could not keep them. They could not, if the pattern was really funky, couldn't keep it. The funkier the pattern, the more expensive the rugs. Yes, this is why I think the way that I do and I say the stuff that I say. This is what I've seen with my own 2 eyes. And, you know, I'm hearing all this stuff, and it's just, there's so much more you can do. Just so many things you can do with this. All right, so let's talk about e-commerce. Let's talk about e-commerce that you can do where you are. You're going to need about 5 G's. I know many people's like, oh, no, you don't need any money. All right. And legitimately, you could start off with $100 to $500 and use the term parlay your money, which means you must continue to reinvest proceeds from the business back in the business, and you're doing this work and you're not taking out any money. You can't take out a penny. Then once you get to a certain level, then you can start pulling money out. That's the thing. Now, if you start with 5 G's, and you go out and you find an audience. You do not go find products, you find an audience, and you develop a relationship with that audience. This takes time. This is not fast. It's not overnight. You will make 100 times more money. It's just going to take you longer. So it's kind of like, what's the thing? A fast dime or a slow dollar. It's that big of a differential. So 5 G's, and what you would do is you would take your 5 G's and you would open up, you know, there's a video in here, the 5 business checking accounts that you need. Watch that video. You would set up those accounts, and only $1,000 would be for the business. That would be for your LLC. That'll be for your website and all this other stuff. And for your original products, you're not going to work so much on, quote, finding the key product. You're going to work on finding the audience and getting that relationship. It is, I can't tell you the differences in that, because once you do that, you can sell less and make more. Fight game, whoa, way different from the online game. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not fight game, not at all. Because, all right, I have some insights on this because I used to wonder, and I used to be just like that. I used to buy based upon capacity. I did not buy based on value. If you go ahead and find an audience, and there's literally 1,000 audiences online, and you get in there and you really get to know them, and you come up with a product, and you can, and this is what you can do. You can be like, hey, I own the business. You can be in there because once you develop a relationship, you can be real honest. And it's like, I own the business. And, since I'm here and you guys are helping me, I will sell this product to you at cost. And I don't want you to leave me Amazon reviews and like that. I just want you to tell me, is it something good or is it bullshit? Honestly, we're friends. So you go ahead and you take your first run and you sell it to real people, not, Amazon, no, real fucking people. And then you call them up on the phone. I know, hard work. And then ask them what's wrong. And then you go ahead and fix all that shit. And then you create your website. And then you create your online store. And then you create your marketing plan. Because why? You have customers, you have feedback, you know what's wrong, you know how to improve. And then you create your website. And then you put paid traffic to it. You can sell anything doing that. Not all this small bullshit from China. I get mad because, if you're making money and that's respectable, but everybody's trying to jump through this fucking narrow hoop of buying the same kind of shit. And there's just so much many opportunities. This is the reason I'm doing this. The math on the $1 million is I saw this. Now I'll give you the math on my business, my office furniture business, and I made 1.2 million. I give you the math on that, and it's going to be way different. Wow, hell, 2 and 3 hours. I just think I found my first hustle business. Wowzer. There's other costs. You got to have a buyer. You got to have somebody to go over there. You got to get letters of credit. You got to have money to play this game. Because when they bought those rugs, they paid them in cash because the family was like, we need cash. And they paid them in American dollars. So they going over there with a suitcase full of money. Only it seems challenging building an audience for a product that people buy once from their home and last the life of the house. That's what I'm up against. Business models. Some of the most durable business models, like take this guy who's really smart that created diapers.com. Why did he create diapers.com? Every month, there's like 330,000 babies born in the United States. Typically, a kid is in diapers anywhere from 12 months to some kids damn near 3 years. So every month, just do this. This is how you look at the market. Let me get back in my all right. Let's get back in my calculator. So this is what you do. 300. Let's go 300,000 kids in diapers times 12 times 2. All right. So that's 7,200,000 diapers per month. That's the market. That's why they did diapers.com. This is a huge need. You don't go to the store and get diapers because, I feel like getting some diapers with pandas on them. No, you go there because little Timmy needs those diapers. 7 million a month. People are buying 7 million diapers per month being sold. Oh, wait a minute. Times, how many times does little Timmy poop in a day? Let's times 4. It's 28 million diapers per month. That's the power of finding an audience. No. I didn't take home 1.2 million. Here's the math, okay? Let me tell you about the year. First product was cubicles, 100 cubicles. That was 125,000. Profit on that, because I fucked up, was 45. And that was one of the most profitable ones. Second project was 330,000. They beat the shit out of me on price. I made maybe 10. Yes, I was horrible at that. Then there was a $50,000 product. Because the thing is, I was trading money. I wasn't making profit. I was like making a sale to pay my bills. So I made 35. I say 35, but it was really like 40 grand. 40 grand take home out of 1.2 million. I had typically my product cost was like close to 900,000. I had a $200,000 fuck up. So if that hadn't happened, I probably would have did 300 grand. One of my good friends, he said, dude, you made a profit. He said, you understand how many people start businesses and don't make a profit for a year or two? You made a profit your first year. And he was all hyped and shit. And I was just like, and part of the reason is I had GC Solutions the year before, which was office furniture. That's what I started. But I only sold 300 grand, but I made damn near 150. You know, it was like less work, less hassle. Part of my problem was I should have had a team of 3 people. And it was just really, really hard. So this is why when I hear this like, oh, I made $1 million, I was like, what's the net? What's the net? That's my first question. The diaper game, well, diapers.com was bought by Amazon.com. Amazon, in my opinion, has put a strong stake in all of the durable markets like diaper, water, certain things. They're in there. Fight game. It seems most offline businesses are on. No, they're not. No, they're not. Hold on a second. I may get a little, we may slow down a little bit because I got to find this and I got to go through a lot of stuff. You didn't know when you're doing online Facebooks, they have so much going on. They pull a lot of your bandwidth. So typically, if you're going to stream, close down Facebook unless you are in Facebook. All right. Get rid of that. Come on, go away. All right. So I'm going to show it to you. All right. See, this is the power of education. Because I put this up the other day, and I'm going to show you that that is actually not even close to the case. All right, this is recent numbers. Only 8.4% of all commerce in the United States, that's every chair that's sold, that is every piece of food, that's every article of clothing, only 8.4% is online. Amazon is creating physical stores because Amazon's a very smart company and they know this. And for them to reach whatever goals they have, they've got to have physical locations. Everything's not going online. So maintenance for home products may be a better, easier angle than building on. It's different perspective. Once again, I'll say there's 1,001 ways to make money online, but we're just talking about, like, I'm giving you some numbers on physical products. I'm giving you a number on, physical products, Horizon Pacific. I had big deals. I mean, 100K, 50K, 300,000K, but the profits weren't there because, number one, I was a scary little bitch, and I was like, I got to get some sales. So I was more hyped to get the sale than I was to get the profit, and that was a problem. And then I got into the storage auction business because my year before that, I knew that there was way more margin in used stuff. So I went and started looking for used stuff, and that was letting me get in the storage auction business. I mean, there's just some other stuff. Now, let's talk about a lunch that I know of. And I'm not going to mention the name because you would know who this is. They did $3 million gross revenue, spent $300,000 on Facebook ads, and there was a ton of joint venture profits. Now, they did well. They did about $1 million, so they made 37% profit. They did about $1 million. So typically, for you to pull home 7 figures, you got to sell 3 to 5 million to be sure to pull home 7 figures. You just sell $1 million, it's not gonna work. Where the deal's 30 net, they were 30-day net, 60-day. Well, actually, my suppliers were all different. My suppliers, because I was new, I didn't have a track record, I had to put down deposits on the bigger deals. I mean, here's the stuff. This stuff is custom fabricated. There is no, let's put it on the liquidation rack. There is none of that. And also, it was my job to get a commitment from the customer because I had to get a 50% deposit. So for the $330,000 deal, I got a $175,000 check. And I had to take that check and give it to my manufacturers, every last bit of it, because they weren't going to make the furniture and stuff unless they had money. So it was brutal. I learned a lot. I mean, the business was successful, but I didn't have a lot of free time. I was working 80 hours a week. I wasn't happy. I mean, it was cool to be like, oh, I sell commercial office furniture, right? And I get to meet all these fancy people and I get to talk to facility managers and business owners, but I wasn't fucking happy. I was stressed the fuck out. And I just didn't like what I had to do. I wasn't really connected. I just did this through sheer hustle and drive. I didn't like the business. I just didn't. I liked it more when I had support, because when you do something like a boutique office furniture firm, you gotta have some support. You gotta have some, just going through orders. It's a lot. It's just a lot. I mean, really, it's amazing how many businesses out there that can make you rich. It's just if you are suited for that business model. That's kind of the key, because just because a business has the potential to do 7 figures or 8 figures or 9 figures, are you the person to run that business? This is where everything falls down: management. If you will look at Facebook and you go to the website and you look at the management team, there's Zuckerberg and every fucking body else is 50 fucking years old. Everyone else. There is no Zuckerberg, 27 VP of finance. That dude's probably 50 with 4 decades of experience. Management of a business is fundamentally different than starting a business. So it gets to be really, really crazy what you can pull off. But they did well. But the thing is, they've been at it for a while, and they'll probably do it like 2 or 3 times a year and make $3 million a year. Also, I know of people who are copywriters who have their own product. And I know one guy, he's doing and he doesn't do paid traffic. He does content marketing. He has no paid traffic whatsoever. He has all of these blogs. He writes under different names. Like I said, he's been doing this for 10 years. This is not an overnight thing. So all his traffic is driven from content marketing. So when he makes $1 million, he literally makes $1 million because he only has processing costs. And I think he was getting into, last time I talked to him, he was getting into some Facebook stuff, but he really wasn't feeling Facebook. He really wasn't. So if you want to build a $1 million business, you got to do this. No, so let's just parse it down some more. All right. So you're selling, let's say you're selling violins, and your violins are 5,000. So we take $1 million, divide that by 5,000. You need to sell 200 violins a year. But once again, how many people are going to pay 5 G's for a violin? So how big is that market? Or you can go to a $1,000 product. Let's see, 1 million. Because whatever you're selling, go through this math. Because one thing that happens to many people is they don't have enough. So if you want to make $1 million selling a $1,000 product, you need to sell 1,000. Look at the math. Look at the market. Any business you have, you should take whatever you want to make and add up the numbers to how much stuff you got to sell. One of the reasons that many people who do eBay and Amazon don't make a lot of money is they don't have enough products. Back in the good old days of eBay, we used to sell probably 100 products a day. We were shipping out like 2,000 plus before we went to our whole outsourcing of the eBay shit. 100 products a day requires 3 people. It's a lot. It's a lot. You by yourself trying to ship 100 fucking products. If it's something you can grab off a shelf and put in an envelope, yeah. But all these products were unique. Some were like this size, and some were the size of this monitor. Some were pickup. There was all kinds of stuff. So we had 3 people working and shipping. That's why when I hear all this stuff, I'm be like, you just don't have enough manpower to be making the money you claim to be making. There's just something missing. Because all of my eBay folks who are here, the biggest day you ever had, how many products you ever sold, put that in the comments, and also put how long it took you to wrap all that shit and ship it out. Put that in there, because I know there's some of you are here. And typically when I start to evaluate people, I look at their infrastructure, because you can want to make $1 million a year, but if your infrastructure isn't built for that, you're not going to make it. You could make it if you had better infrastructure, but you're just not. So who's selling on eBay and Amazon, merchant fulfilled, or eBay? How many things? What's your biggest day of selling stuff? How many items have you sold in one day? And then when you had to ship it out, how long it took you to ship it? Just put that in the comments. 6, 2 hours. Let me put that again. 6 items sold in one day. It took 2 hours. And why it took 2 hours? One, you got to look at the listing. Make sure that you're pulling the right shit, because you're sending the person the right stuff, because that could get really, really messed up. So you got to pull it, identify it, label it, confirm it, pack it up. If it's something fragile, you have to put it in bubble wrap, put it in a box, put it in another box, put peanuts around the box. You're not going to do that in 5 minutes. That could be 30 minutes just doing that one package. We had a merino parrot. It's a glass parrot from Italy. Guy bought it on eBay. I think it was like $500-600. Got it out of a unit that only paid $10 for it. And my partner wrapped it. And I remember it took her an hour, because she took the bird, she wrapped it in cloth, she put it in a box with paper. Then she took that box, she put it in another box with peanuts around that box. And that's how we got that parrot to him. Because, essentially, we used to do shit like this. We would kick boxes, wrap stuff up just to see. Because when you get a lot of UPS people or delivery people coming, you'll see they're all the same. Because if you're looking, they're like, but you ain't look at, throw in that shit. 1 to 2 hours. How many items? Fight games? 5, 2 hours. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, now you're kind of getting some better perspective here. So when you see someone's like, hey, I sell 100 items a day. How long is that going to take to wrap? Now, if you got staff, that's totally different. Doesn't matter, because when you have employees, you buy time back. So that's different. But if it's just you and you have no staff, the breaking point for many people is around 5 to 20 items per day. But if you want to make real money, you need to be selling 50 to 100 items per day, which means you're shipping 500 items a week. You're going to have a dedicated shipping area. So look at this. See, this is what I'm talking about. Fight game, 4 items, cheatable 10, 6 hours. You see what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Like when people are talking out there and throwing these numbers out, the math does not add up when you've been there. And I've wrapped shit. I used to hate wrapping shit. I hated it because, we really cared about getting our customers their products. Brad here, got to make sure I'm shipping the right product and it's packed good. That takes time. So those of you who are being honest here, now imagine if you sold 100 items on a Sunday night and that shit had to go out the next day. The first time my partner and I did that, it took us 3 days. It took us 3 days to wrap and ship 100 items. 3 days, and this is all we were doing. Every day is, and like Rod Share said, we had this process where we would print up. I remember this shit because I did it so we would print up the shipping label. We would print up the PayPal invoice. There was 3 sheets, and we would look at it, and we would first pull what had to be shipped, and we put it on the shipping lane, and we would stack the item on the shipping label on PayPal just to make sure. We checked 3 and 4 times, and we still managed to ship people the wrong shit sometimes. After all that, and it's just like sometimes they were nice, And they were like, okay, well, let's send it back. And, but anyway, you ate money because you had to do something to make sure they were happy. Because if they were nice and they were working with you, you really wanted to keep them and you just had to bend over backwards to make them happy. It's a lot. FBA sounds like a good deal right now. They ship it for you. Hard to wrap a Guitar Hero. Is that why drop ship became so popular? I think that's part of it, but more so than the shipping is the scalability. The scalability, because you still run into the same problems. Okay, you got Amazon FBA. They're doing all the shipping and stuff, but you still got to buy the product. And the big bottleneck there is income. People don't, I mean, I used to be in some Facebook, not Facebook, but some Amazon FBA groups on Facebook. And I would just sit there. I haven't got my payout. I mean, they were like crackheads waiting for the next hit. You know why? Because they couldn't do shit because they didn't have any money. So that was another thing. I've just seen when you get into real shipping, there's some called factoring. There's some called letters of credit, because you got this company wherever they are and you just can't write them a check. It's too much risk for them. You write them a check, they take it, they put your stuff on the water, and a check bounce. They just can't, like, maybe they can stop the shipment from being delivered, but that's going to cost them money. They got to get paid before they do anything. Johnny Storage, I recently read that Amazon is being sued for selling vendors' inventory but claiming it was lost. With their massive distribution system, it could be possible. The United States Post Office, which has had a 100-year head start on Amazon, here in Atlanta has something that's called the Lost Shipping Center. And every month they have an auction selling stuff that got lost in the mail. Every month. It used to be fun. It's very competitive. I can tell you, if you want to go there, you need to go with 25 to 100 G's in your pocket now, where you're not going to come out with much. It's just the nature of the beast, man. It's just nature. So, I do these things to kind of give you some information. So when you hear all these claims and stuff, just sit back and do the math and start asking questions. It's like someone's talking about they sell all this stuff, merchant fulfill, right? How many packages do you ship per day? If they say they're doing $1 million, that's going to be about 100 packages a day, or they're going to be 20 packages a day with very high sales prices. The money and the truth is always in the math. It is always in the math. And if you want to create $1 million business, whatever it is, that service that you're selling, just run through the numbers. Just take them, just like I did, $1 million on paper, then take the sales price of what you want to sell and divide it by 1 million. Get those numbers and crank it down to the per hourly rate, what you have to make per hour, because $124 per hour is a lot of money. But that doesn't overwhelm you as looking at that big $1 million figure. It's like, okay, because initially when you go for it, you're not going to make 124 hour. If you made $30 an hour, consistently $30 an hour, let's see, hold on. Let's get the math. We got to be point. So you made $30 an hour in your business times 24 times 365. That's 265. Fonzie CW, have yourself a merry little Christmas. If I didn't want to copy, if I wanted a copyright strike, I'd play some Christmas music. Just do the math. So, $30 an hour, and let's look at that number again. $30 an hour, 24 hours is 1/4 of $1 million. So, the math, 120. If you can average 3 G's a day, whatever way you do it. This hour you make 50. This hour you make 1,000. You're on your way. That's where it is. So, looking at your products and doing those numbers, because a lot of people never do these numbers. They never even look at them. So that's just kind of some guidelines to give y'all on this stuff. And, when you listen to these claims, and this is why I'm not an asshole. It's just when I hear something, my first thought is maybe they misstated it. And then I hear more and I'm like, okay, they're clearly lying. Okay, fuck it. They're the devil. Because you hear these numbers from all of these people and they just don't make sense. When you put them to math, simple math, they just don't make sense. Fight game. Should I cut 40% for taxes when doing $1 million math? No. Okay. Let's go to my furniture business. $900,000 in costs. I'm not paying 40% on stuff on costs and expenses. You don't pay money on revenue. You don't pay taxes on expenses. You only pay taxes on net. So no, you should not put the 40% taxes on there, because see, there's some other stuff. And I'll talk about it more in 2017 in Fat Cat Profits, but that's a whole different ball game. Your first job is to make the money. Don't worry about taxes. Don't worry about advanced schemes or tactics. Keep it really, really simple. I have something to sell. There's just a group that I know wants to buy it, and this is my device here to let them know that I'm selling it. Just focus on that in the beginning, and once you start getting money, then you can get fancy and snazzy. But it's kind of hard to scope the rock when you don't have the rock. You know what I mean? Many Christmas songs are in the public domain. Good to know. Christmas is designed to get your money. This is line at the mall. It's ridiculous. You know, it's one day before Christmas Eve. It's always like that. I had to go to Target and I was looking for something. They didn't have it. It was like a zoo in there. But these holidays were created. That's true. If you look at the research, it's true. A lot of stuff, like back in the day when people got married, they used to give each other iron rings. And then they went to gold, and then diamonds and stuff came into it. So if anyone's got a question about a $1 million e-commerce business, because, you know, like I should say, because I didn't do it, because I'm going to run the 50% Christmas sale. I'm going to run that. But next year, we're going to do a real bona fide e-commerce building event. This will be a company. We will not be using Amazon FBA. We're going to find a product. We're going to create a website, and we're going to run traffic to it. I love this, charlatan. Never heard of someone making big money that stopped because the taxes were too high. They threatened to quit, but never did. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Like all these folks who said, if Trump wins, I'm moving. From what I can tell, now the one has moved. Easy to say, but hard to pull off when you think about all of the parts that go into it. But any questions on the $1 million math? Because, I mean, straight, if you want to do $1 million a year, you need to be doing consistently 83,000 per month, which is 20-some thousand per week, which is 3 G's per day, which is 124 per hour. All right, audiogram. Yeah, I'm about to end this in a minute. Is it good to clear inventory for new to 7,000? You know, it just depends on what you're selling, how much money you made. I mean, there's a lot of variables in there. I know what you mean. There's just a lot of variables. But with that, I'm getting ready to bounce. So if you like this information, and you should, be sure to share this video with people you care about. Be sure to like and subscribe. And when the stream renders to this permanent video, comment. So I'm going to say it one more again before I go. 50% off Christmas sale. After Christmas, it's gone. 50% off any course at hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. Go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. Then come back to the video and pay, you know, here, this link here, number 2, and then email us what you bought. We'll get the money. We'll know. We just don't know what course you want. And then once you do that, we will set you up and send you your login credentials. Let's see. Fight game. Is there a risk like jail or fees for doing the tax after you get the $1 million for e-commerce? I'm just going to put that out there for education. Your first year of business, you don't have to file quarterly. Your second or third year, if you don't file quarterly and you pay in one lump sum, they're going to hit you with a late fee. That's kind of it. all this stuff. You know, make the money first. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. Okay. So once again, that's it. I want to say thanks to everybody. There clearly will be no more streams this weekend. I can tell you that for sure. And I just want to say, hey, thanks for everybody that's made these last 2 months really, really good, because there's been a lot of participation. I see a lot of familiar people in here, which is really, really cool, which means you're digging the information. And there will be more next week, and there will be a lot more in 2017. So be sure to get your Christmas specials. And with that, I'm going to bounce.